Meantime, the Lakers. Okay, so here's what LeBron says. There have been times when we're at our best, we look really good. And there are other times where it's disgusting.
You know what that sounds like, Ernie?
What?
Sounds like an old man. Like when you wake up in the morning, sometimes I'll be like, ooh, I feel good. Then that next day you'd be like,
that's
sciatica,
disgusting.
sciatica.
Charles Barkley went at the Lakers again, and this time it felt less like trolling and more like a reality check wrapped in comedy. The Washington Generals comparison. The Oprah Winfrey impression. The sciatica joke aimed directly at LeBron James. Chuck didn't ease into it. He unloaded. And the wild part? Every punchline hit because there was truth underneath it. So here's the real question. Are the Lakers actually a legitimate playoff threat in the West this season? Or is Barkley calling it exactly how it is?
Why do you hate the
Lakers?
Lakers? Chuck, tell us.
Why I hate the Lakers? It's always somebody else's fault. Remember 3 years ago, it was Russell Westbrook's fault. Then it was Frank Vogel's fault. Then it was D'Angelo Russell's fault. Then it was Darvin Ham's fault. It's always somebody else's fault. And it bothers me. Listen, you don't always blame other people for your shortcomings.
Before we even break down what he said, take a second to appreciate Barkley as an entertainer. The man has turned Lakers commentary into an art form. At this point, it belongs in a broadcast museum. The timing. The delivery. The way he builds a joke and then lands it with a straight face, it's elite-level television.
Lakers like an Oprah Winfrey show. You get a basket. You get a basket. You get a basket. Everybody who plays against the Lakers, they gonna make everybody look good. I mean, they're like the Washington Generals. They every team's the Globetrotters against them. I mean, and we can keep sugarcoating it, and I know they gonna make us talk about the Lakers. The Lakers are a mediocre team.
If you've watched Inside the NBA for any amount of time, you already know the Lakers are Chuck's favorite subject. Not because he loves them, but because they keep giving him material. Year after year, season after season, they provide just enough chaos, inconsistency, and drama for him to cook up another unforgettable segment.
And the Lakers proved to what I keep saying, the Lakers stink, plain and simple. We have to talk about them because the media is infatuated with the Lakers. But the Lakers are not a good team. They got zero athletic ability. They got a good shot every time. The Lakers could never keep them in front of them. This was a coaching masterpiece by Jason Kidd because there's no way that team that the Mavs put out there, especially one winning by 20, basically.
The latest episode gave him fresh ammunition. It started with LeBron's own words. LeBron admitted there are stretches where the Lakers look really good, and other stretches where they look disgusting. His word, not anyone else's. Think about that. A 40-plus-year-old superstar describing his own team as disgusting in a press conference. That's either brutal honesty or a subtle SOS. Barkley heard that quote and instantly flipped it into comedy gold.
He just described who he should be and who the team should be based on what their personnel is at that time. They are old in certain parts. They don't have perimeter.
Wait, he's the only one old.
But they don't have perimeter defense. Young at the perimeter. So now there's no resistance for guys that get downhill.
Yes.
And I think that is the biggest thing. You know, yes, they don't have a great shot blockers, but they have shot block ability. But they do not have resistance at the 1, 2, and 3 position. And that is indicative of why they play like that.
Chuck said it sounded like an old man waking up in the morning. One day you feel amazing, everything's working, you're moving smooth, you've got energy. The next day? The sciatica is flaring up and nothing cooperates. The studio lost it. But here's why it landed. It wasn't just a joke. It was a metaphor. LeBron is still playing elite basketball deep into his 40s. That's historic. But asking a 41-year-old body to deliver peak performance every night, especially on back-to-backs, is a gamble. And the Lakers mirror that inconsistency. Some nights they look dangerous. Other nights they look completely disconnected. That's not random. That's wear and tear.
I agree
JJ
with
Bennett
Kenny.
going more to his own too to address the defensive issues on that team.
Absolutely, and like you mentioned, like Luka and Austin Reeves have been terrific offensively. Luka flirt with a triple-double every night. Austin Reeves been killing the league, averaging over 25 points, but they've been a turnstile on defense. And whoever comes to town can just beat them off the dribble, drive and kick, and get other guys open. But you wanted to also get more from DeAndre Ayton as an anchor when you acquire him as the Lakers, and he's been pedestrian a lot of times, and I just don't think the Lakers, even though LeBron does a really good job at his
But when you
agent,
open a bee's nest and all the bees, it's hard to block all the bees. Like, you got DeAndre in there like this. Like, come on, it's like you got to have these.
Underneath the comedy, there was real basketball analysis, and it mattered. The Lakers' biggest issue isn't effort. It's structure. They simply don't have consistent perimeter defenders at the 1, 2, and 3 spots who can stop downhill attacks. When guards and wings get into the paint untouched, everything collapses behind them. That's where the DeAndre Ayton experiment comes in. The expectation was that Ayton would be the defensive anchor, the paint protector who erases mistakes and discourages drives. Instead, he's been average. Not disastrous. But not transformative either. When your perimeter defense leaks, your big man ends up trying to block multiple drivers in rotation. It's like opening a bee's nest. Once they're all buzzing in the paint at the same time, even elite rim protectors struggle. The math doesn't work. Rotations get late. Shooters get open. And suddenly you're reacting instead of dictating. That's been the Lakers' defensive identity this season: reactive.
They gonna make us talk about the Lakers. The Lakers are a mediocre team. Now they got some really good teams in the West that we should be talking about, because I'm starting to get on this San Antonio bandwagon right now. Obviously we got OKC and Denver, we got Houston, but man, them Spurs, they're knocking on that door.
Offensively, though, that's a different story. Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves have been outstanding. Luka flirts with triple-doubles like it's routine. Reeves has elevated into a 25-plus point per game scorer and one of the most reliable offensive weapons in the Western Conference. The Lakers can score with almost anyone. On any given night, they have enough firepower to outgun elite teams. That's why this debate isn't simple. They're not hopeless. They're just inconsistent. And that's what makes Barkley's commentary sting a little more. Because hidden inside the jokes is a real question. Are the Lakers a dangerous playoff team waiting to click at the right time? Or are they exactly what Chuck describes, a team that feels great one morning and can barely move the next?
In the West right now, the Lakers, and for the 11th time this season, expected to have LeBron and Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic together on the floor.
You get a basket.
Which has been a rarity.
what you want to do, what you want to do.
But then came the moment that took the entire segment to another level: the Oprah impression. You get a basket. You get a basket. Everybody gets a basket. When Charles Barkley delivered that line, it wasn't just a joke. It was a visual. It perfectly captured how the Lakers' defense feels right now. Teams don't have to fight for their points. They don't have to grind possessions. They don't have to execute complicated sets. They simply attack the perimeter, drive downhill, and score. It feels like a giveaway show. Like points are being handed out one by one to whoever shows up. And that's why the joke worked so well. It wasn't random humor. It was a mirror. Then Barkley went even further with the Washington Generals comparison. For those who don't know, the Washington Generals are the team that plays the Harlem Globetrotters, and their role is to lose. They exist to make the entertainment look spectacular. They are the foil. The setup. The team that gets beaten night after night. When Barkley compared the Los Angeles Lakers to the Generals, the audience laughed, but it was nervous laughter. Because the implication was clear. Every team that plays the Lakers gets to look like the Globetrotters. Every guard gets confidence. Every wing gets rhythm. Every opponent leaves with a highlight reel. And that comparison stings because of what the Lakers represent historically: championships, legends, dominance. To hear that franchise described as the Generals is shocking precisely because it contrasts so heavily with its legacy. But comedy only works when there's truth inside it. The broader discussion quickly moved from jokes to basketball reality. The Western Conference is not soft this season. It is loaded. At the top, the Oklahoma City Thunder are playing fast, disciplined basketball with defensive structure and depth. The San Antonio Spurs have surged forward with young talent and a system that looks built for long-term success. The experienced and battle-tested Denver Nuggets remain dangerous, carrying championship DNA into every playoff series. And the high-energy, aggressive style of the Houston Rockets adds even more competition to an already intense bracket. In that environment, sitting fifth isn't safe, it's risky. Fifth place in the West does not mean comfort. It means survival. Barkley's comments about the Spurs also mattered. He doesn't hand out praise easily. When he mentioned supporting their rise and the development of young contributors like Dylan Harper, it highlighted something important. Some teams are building upward momentum, not just trying to stay relevant. That's a big difference. Now look at the Lakers' construction. They are built around veteran leadership, elite offensive talent, and star power. LeBron James continues to perform at a historic level of longevity. That alone is extraordinary. Very few athletes in any sport sustain this kind of production deep into their careers. But basketball is unforgiving. Age doesn't erase greatness, but it does change consistency. And consistency is what playoff teams need most. Offensively, the Lakers can compete with anyone. Luka Doncic brings elite playmaking, scoring versatility, and constant pressure on defenses. Austin Reeves has stepped into a major scoring role and shown he can deliver in high-volume situations. When those players are clicking, the Lakers can score in bunches. They can generate runs. They can compete in shootouts. The offense is not the issue. The issue is what happens when shots aren't falling. Defensively, problems remain structural. Without consistent perimeter resistance, drives reach the paint too easily. When that happens, the bigs must rotate constantly. That leads to mismatches, open corner threes, and breakdowns in transition. The expectation was that players like DeAndre Ayton would stabilize the interior defense, serving as an anchor in the paint. But rim protection only works when the perimeter forces tough shots first. Defense is connected from top to bottom. If the first line breaks down, the rest of the system strains. That's what Barkley was indirectly pointing at. The coaching staff has experimented with zone defense to cover gaps. Zone can disrupt rhythm for short stretches. It can create confusion. It can slow down certain offenses. But against elite Western Conference teams, especially in playoff series where adjustments happen game to game, zone alone is rarely enough. Top-tier offenses will identify weak spots and exploit them repeatedly. Zone is a tool, not a foundation. Chemistry is another key factor. The core trio hasn't shared consistent. In modern basketball, continuity is critical. Defensive communication, switching trust, help timing, these are built over repetitions. Without shared minutes, even talented rosters struggle to reach cohesion. That's why consistency has been missing. Not because of lack of talent, but because of limited time together. All of this circles back to Barkley's commentary on Inside the NBA. What makes him unique is that he combines humor with blunt analysis. He doesn't soften observations to protect narratives. When he sees something, he says it. The Oprah joke worked. The sciatica line worked. The Generals comparison worked. But underneath every punchline was a larger message. The Lakers are inconsistent. And in a conference this strong, inconsistency is dangerous. The Lakers are not irrelevant. They are not rebuilding. They are not a disaster. They are a team with star power, offensive firepower, and postseason experience. But right now, they occupy a difficult middle ground, good enough to draw national attention, not yet stable enough to dominate elite competition. That's why Barkley's comments resonate. Because sometimes comedy is just another way of telling the truth.